So this is Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's the remake of the classic book and original Swedish film that they made a trilogy of 3 films. The first film is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and the lady in the original Swedish version, she ended up becoming quite well known in Hollywood as well after she went on to play a lead character in Sherlock Holmes 2 with Robert Downey Jr. This scene we have Stellan Skarsgård, who you may remember from Thor, a legendary Swedish actor. We've also got Daniel Craig, who plays the lead, Mikael Blomkvist, the investigative reporter, and you've got Ali Jova, who was actually in one of the Blade films. And during lockdown, when I resurrected global indie filmmakers, she was actually part of our little community online. So amazing that she was in David Fincher's film. And ultimately, this is a scene in the middle of the film, but it's all sort of based around a old rich guy who hires an investigative reporter to track down who has murdered his I think it's his niece, who is very connected to a long time ago. This young girl disappeared, and he believes that one of the family has killed her. So Mikael Blomkvist, who's obviously working with this guy, comes across Lisbeth Salander, who's this kind of intensely sort of edgy sort of hacker. And so he joins forces with her, and they basically go on this adventure to try and track down the mystery behind what happened to the girl who died. If you know a lot about Scandi noirs, I mean, high-end TV was actually created, and became successful after the original Scandi TV shows that were incredibly good. Nordic noirs, they're called. And there was one called The Killing of Forbidsland, and that's the Danish one, and that's actually quite famous. And that's also involves the death of a young girl. They have to try and find out what happened to her and who did it, and it became this kind of long-running mystery that they remade as well as a TV show in America. So, I mean, the original Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was really good, albeit disturbing at times, and it was held in so high regard that David Fincher decided, the guy who did Seven and other big films, decided to remake it in a sort of American sort of English language version. So the original version was in Swedish, which I was watching the original languages. I was watching with subtitles, and the original version they carried on making 2 more for the Millennium Trilogy, it's called, and they're all available on Prime for free, and they're incredible. So you should definitely watch those. But this is the remake, and also what I like about the remakes of these Scandi TV shows or the Scandi films is that they make it really well in America. They do it really well. So the remake of The Killing was really good, and the remake of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is really good as well. We have a lot of famous people in this. We've got obviously Daniel Craig, Skarsgård, and Ali here, but we also have Rooney Mara, who plays the radical transformation. You saw her in The Social Network, I think, and then she radically transformed herself to play Lisbeth in this film. I think she's actually married. She's Kate Mara's sister. I think she's married to Joaquin Phoenix, actually. I think she is, yeah. The guy who played the Joker, who's a legendary actor too. Ultimately, she does a cracking job here as the lead actor, and we also have Robin Wright is in it. We have Steven Berkoff is in it. And Christopher Plummer, the guy who was in Sound of Music, he's also in it. He's been in a lot of sort of famous Hollywood films recently as well. I think he was in Knives Out. He was also in Inside Man, I think, Spike Lee's film with Clive Owen and Jodie Foster. He's been in a lot of films. But anyway, so yeah, there are a lot of well-known actors in it. And they really make it well. It's a really good mystery. I love mystery crime thrillers. And it's kind of one of those films that you can kind of watch again and again and again, because it's just quite interesting. They did try and make the second film in the American side. But I think the original version, this one was the box office wasn't as great as they expected, so they had a lot of difficulty in justifying the second and third film. I think they made the second one, but they recast the lead. I think Rooney Mara didn't come back. They used Claire Foy, I believe, again, which is quite radical considering she was actually in the Crown series, and then she kind of radically transformed to be the sort of the goth sort of hacker Lisbeth Salander in the second film. I think they called it The Girl in the Spider's Web. But yeah, so go and check it out. This is on Amazon for free. I highly recommend it. I'd also highly recommend watching the first Swedish version first, and then watching this as the second version. Although I guess it may, unlike, I don't know, The Killing, when they remade it, they kind of changed the story slightly, so it was kind of interesting to watch both. But in this film series, I think they've kept true to the book, so that you kind of work out what's going to happen in the film if you watch the second one. But it's still worth watching. It's still worth watching Daniel Craig and to play the reporter guy. And I enjoyed it, and it's one of my favourite sort of things, shows, films at the time, and even is now. But I would err on the side of caution. It deals with a lot of sort of serious issues. It's quite graphic at times, and it's very disturbing at times and shocking. And it was written by Stieg Larsson, who's a famous newspaper journalist and also a famous writer. His books came out, highly successful, and I believe sadly he passed away before the success was really seen of all of his works. So these films are kind of released posthumously, really. But yeah, really, really interesting storylines, and he really tackles a lot of the kind of issues in kind of Sweden as well. So I really like the story, albeit very dark stories. It's kind of interesting, and I love regional stories. I love TV shows, and I love films that are in the original language, and rather than watching them being dubbed, I'd rather watch them in the original language, so you can actually see the acting and the emotion of the actors, and then you can sort of watch the subtitles to try and understand it if you don't speak the language, obviously. But this one is a remake; it's all in English, but they do a good job with it as well. But anyway, this is A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, the remake, starring Daniel Craig, obviously James Bond actor, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.